Welcome, welcome to our Monday Mastermind here in March. We're excited. Things are warming up. As you can hear, I've got people outside mowing grass and blowing weeds. Hopefully, they'll stop soon. But we're glad to have everybody today. We're going to have a great topic, and it's all about helping agents to grow and expand their business. That's why we're doing this Monday Mastermind program, is to help agents to further their sales and their business and do things more efficient and effective and get things done. And so if you want to learn more about what we're doing here at Why Grow Global, or go to whygrowglobal.com. And there you can see all about our group and what we're doing. And you can even go or scroll down to the bottom and see our past trainings that we've done. There's lots of gold nuggets in those trainings and events. And we're looking forward to having people go back and see those for years to come. But today we've got a special topic about how to find and develop niches in your business. I've been doing this and teaching this for over 30 years in real estate, and agents have found phenomenal ways to grow their business finding niches. And agents are, when they're doing real estate, they need to find ways to find more clients, right? They're constantly looking for ways to market, looking for ways to build their database, looking for ways to stand out. And one way to do it is to find niches in your business. And niches can be divided up in different ways. It can be real estate related niches, which are in types of real estate like luxury or first-time home buyers or investment properties and so on. We'll talk more about different ones later. And they can also be personal related niches. We'll get into that as well. But we're going to have a talk about how to work those into your business. And as we go along, if anybody has any questions for myself and Laura, we're going to be tag teaming on this and talking about different things on the niches. But if you have any questions about niches, if you have something that you're wanting to try to develop and you don't know how to do it, later on after we'll start talking, we'll get into how to do it, and we'll give you some pointers and ideas. So feel free to put those in the chat now or raise your hand later. But let's throw it over to Laura right quick and talk about what she's doing in the real estate industry and how niches are affecting her and building her business.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome from across the country. We're in sunny Chicago right now. It's warmed up a little bit, but not quite as warm as Atlanta. But in my 4-decade career, my niches have definitely evolved and changed. It's pretty funny because whatever you put on your business card and put out there, people just believe. So my card and my marketing have changed through the years. I've been a townhome specialist, first-time buyer specialist, luxury home specialist, properties on acreage specialist, and right now, because I have a bunch of land listed, I could almost be land specialist. But I did also create something for people who they have to sell their loved one's home after they've passed away, and I could talk a little bit more about that.
Right.
But you could be whatever you want to be. I was in a training one time, and they were telling a story, and I thought it was very relevant and very relevant for today, about a woman who was in real estate for a number of years, and she really wasn't doing well and wanted to quit. And they talked to her and said, okay, think about, what do you love to do? And this is more on your lifestyle type of niche marketing, which
Huh?
I think is the most fun, because if you're doing what you love and you find other people doing it, and then you start to work with them as you're part of your database, now you're doing what you love and it's so much more fun. So she was ready to quit, and they said, well, what do you love to do? And she said, well, I love to play tennis and I love to go shopping. So she started a tennis group and threw it out onto social media and did all the things she needed to do, and got some other people to start playing. And then as time went on, she was putting her label on water bottles and wearing the t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. And then the shopping, she would go to the mall with a number of ladies, and everyone would have their list of what each one was looking for. And that if they found what that person was looking for, they would text them and say, hey, what you want is at this store. Here's a picture of it. Here's the price. And then they'd go for lunch afterwards. So, I mean, how fun is that?
That's kind of like a scavenger hunt thing.
Right? So there's certainly a lot of ways you can do niche marketing, and it's really just finding one that really speaks to you, I think is most important. Makes it a little bit more authentic, And if you're excited about it, other people are excited about it.
That's
So,
right.
yeah, my friend Kim Manson from Florida, well, she's licensed here in Illinois and she's also licensed in Florida, moved down there a little over a year ago. I asked her if she would jump on today because she has really, her business is taken off down in Florida. It takes time, you know, it doesn't happen overnight, but I think what she's done down there is exactly what we're talking about. So, hey, Kim, you ready to jump on?
Love to hear.
I am here.
Okay. Go take it away, Kim. What are you doing down in Florida? Tell everyone what your favorite hobbies are and how that's benefited your career.
Well, let me give you an idea. I'll show you what I look like right now. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
All green.
So I just got back from pickleball. So what I love to do is pickleball, like you mentioned, tennis. And that is exactly what I'm doing, is finding a new niche, because when you're in a new market, you obviously have to develop your own new sphere. So that is the people that I'm meeting and getting to know, and getting to know a little bit about their lifestyles and their families. And lo and behold, the business is starting to come from that new sphere. So I think that that's, an important thing to do, even if you're not in a new market, but you have to do what you love.
Mhm.
And those people will be very like-minded. You will find that that's kind of like your tribe, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's how we will relate to people, and that's how they will become to know, love, and trust you.
So what are the things that you're doing in pickleball to make yourself stand out?
Well, I've never really been one to, walk around and just hand out business cards, but
Right?
Laura and I have both been really good at, you know, saying things and kind of, sprinkling ideas and mentioning. There's always a way to mention that I'm a realtor.
Hmm.
Whether it's something on TV or somebody mentions interest rates, or,
Right, right.
something like that. So rather than hitting everybody over the head with it, I just find a very nice, casual, informal way to make sure that everybody knows, what I do and how I can help them. And a lot of people are very transient in Florida. So that's a good thing, because they're coming, they're going, they have family that's, coming down and visiting, and then they see this fabulous weather and lifestyle, and they're like, oh, well, maybe you should talk to my sister, because my sister was thinking maybe she would want to move here. So it's not even just about the people that you're meeting and developing your new sphere, but it's the people that are in their sphere.
So in pickleball, um, do you have Facebook groups that you're in of people who play pickleball and different? How do y'all communicate with each other?
Yep. There's a platform called Team Reach that's nationwide that most pickleball people use. So I'm in different, from Chicago to Florida. I'm in a bunch of different groups, and we do communicate that way. And it's another good way too, just to, sometimes I'll say, well, gee, I can't make this particular event because I have showings.
Right?
And even if there's somebody that's on there like, okay, who's this Kim girl? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. She's a realtor. She's not playing today because she's working. She's a working realtor.
Hmm?
So there's things like that, and then I've had people come up to me and have said, oh my gosh, you're a realtor. And again, I didn't hit them over a head. I didn't plaster them with my business card, but, they very casually have found out. And, I ask a lot of questions like we have all been taught to do.
And
It's go ahead,
Kim,
Laura.
about Lifetime here in Illinois. I mean, that really has been a big part of your business here, is your membership at Lifetime and working out.
Absolutely. I would say the majority of my business came from Lifetime Fitness, whether it was a class or pickleball or whatever. But, that's my thing, fitness and pickleball. So we started different social groups. We would go out to dinner. We've all gotten to know each other's spouses. And, that's how you meet people, and how and like Laura and I have always been very conscious about trying to stay with our past clients and our present clients, and letting them know that we have a great network of vendors. So even
Hmm.
if somebody's not moving right away, but I have a neighbor in Florida that is trying to repair a wall. So because she knows I'm a realtor, she's like, oh, I'm going to call Kim and ask her for a recommendation. And I think it's important for us to say, don't just call us when you're moving. We want to stay in touch with you frequently, as we should be, right? And letting them know that we can help them with resources and vendors and referrals, and make sure that we're helping them take care of their home. And we're not just going to be available for the day they decide to put the sign in the front yard.
It's funny because when I'm talking to agents, a lot of times they'll sit down and say, okay, you like doing this thing. How can we expand on that? And so the thing that comes to my mind when you talk about pickleball, I'm thinking, how can you come up with like the best 5 rackets for pickleball players, right? The best 5 for women or the best 5 for men, or the best types of courts to play on, or if do you want to set up your own pickleball court, here's the best ways to do it. Come up with information. You're giving out free information to these groups, right? The best ways to store your pickleball equipment so that it doesn't, get messed up or something like that, and have the storage location or storage place. I don't know how to store pickleball stuff because I don't know it, but feeding information to people, right? So
Right.
if you were to in those groups create like a little video with different things about different rackets or different top storage places or whatever. Maybe even do the top courts or even the top pickleball players in the league and how they got there. So just stories and information. People love that kind of stuff, and that's what endears them to you as getting more and more connected with you for not just pickleball but also real estate.
Right, that's a great idea. I also sponsored what we called Dink and Drink. It's like a little half-hour pickleball thing.
Mhm.
And, sometimes if you do something like that and, you're wearing your EXP visor, and I have my little EXP cooler, and, you get some branding and stuff like that in, so I agree. There's lots of ways that you can make sure to stay connected.
Well, and what Kim is laying out is how to niche your personal market, right? This is not a real estate related niche. It's a personal niche, and those are great ways to get more clients and business on how to dig into things you'd like to do anyway. She obviously loves to do it, right? So why not become an expert and give information and attract those people to you for more real estate business? That's a great way to do it. I love that story.
Thanks.
Yep. So send all your referrals over to Kim to
Yeah,
Florida.
that's right.
All your Florida people.
Florida people, we got connections.
Connections for sure. I'll
Yeah,
take
and
good care of them.
she's got a nice guest suite in her house. So, if you go down there and check out real estate, you could probably go in there and stay with her and Mike for a few days, and they got a nice pool and hot tub. And
Yep.
And I might make them go play some pickleball.
Oh,
Right?
most definitely.
It was funny at the last convention, we were all sitting around the pickleball courts down there. That was crazy.
Yes, that was.
Hey, Rob, you segued into one of the, if people have ever seen me speak before on Grow Global, they'll know that I'm always kind of paper heavy, which Julie is going to put in the chat a couple different things because I'm always sitting there writing notes and then I don't know what I did with them. And then I'm not listening if I'm writing notes. So I like to provide documents to everyone. So I do have actually it's almost 4 pages. It's niche marketing ideas. I also, which I'm going to go over in a second, but I also have a list of, and now I did get on Perplexity and asked some questions and then added some of my own, but Perplexity, if you don't know about it, is like ChatGPT. Basically does the same thing, but it gave me 50 ideas, which you probably can't see, but 50 different ideas of different types of niches. And a lot of them are state related. And then some are, golfing communities, wine country properties, shopping districts, cycling and running, arts and craft focused, foodies, ecotourism, ski resorts, lakefront properties, mountain. So it's unlimited. It's unlimited, all the things. It just is hopefully going to give everyone a little nudge in their creative thinking to say, wait a minute, I love drinking wine. So I could be in a wine club and work with those people. And then I also have niche marketing ideas, which really targets in like, what do you do to start your niche? The first thing it says is define your ideal client persona. So list the qualities of your ideal client, including communication preferences, property interests, price range. Consider factors like age, income, profession, family status, or lifestyle preferences. Then research your target market, leverage social media, network strategically, get involved in your community, create valuable content, which is what Rob was just talking about, utilizing online lead generation, implementing target marketing, and so on. So it gives you really a step-by-step plan of, okay, this is what really excites me to work in this market, or this is like me, this is the market I've ebbed and flowed in right now. So now if I'm going to say that I'm the specialist in this market, now this gives me a plan to follow to really get that market going. And then by implementing these strategies consistently and adapting them to your market, you'll be positioned to identify and attract potential clients. So now to attract clients in your niche, I also have another page on that. So it talks about problem solving content, like Rob was just talking about, customer success stories. Kim would have a bunch of stories she could tell of people that she's helped in from the health club or from pickleball or whatever, educational content, data driven, and so on. And then I asked profitability, or I asked perplexity, sorry, what are the 4 most profitable niches in real estate? So I thought people might be interested in this. This is what it said. I didn't make this up, just don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
But it was luxury real estate, commercial real estate, short-term rentals, Airbnb, which I think is pretty hot in Nashville right now,
Yeah.
and real estate development, which of course Stephanie Gilson could speak to very well. That certainly has been a profitable niche for her. So that just happens to be the 4 top. So these will all be put into the chat, so you can print them out. You can have them for yourselves. And then I know I talk fast, so if you got any questions, feel free. Oh, last thing I wanted to mention, Michael Higdon was on and talked about probate
Mhm.
leads, right? So I seem to be, I'll have to say this in the nicest way I can. I seem to be really good at being with people as they're dying. I don't know why. I even volunteered in hospice. I don't know why that's something I can handle. But it's a specialty and it's important. It's important for the person that's passing away and it's important for the family. And so is selling their house. It's not
Mhm.
just a realtor, oh, let me just list your house. No, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times the people are very emotional. They're very attached to the house and to the stuff that's in it. So you have to handle it in a different way. So I came up with I'm very proud of it. Actually, a nice little, I don't know if you could see it. I don't know if I have to mirror my camera to see it. You can't really see it. Let me see. Is there any way to see it? No, not really. But anyway, I came up with this really nice trifold brochure that I had printed through, what printing company? I'll think of it. Anyway, it just says a caring approach to selling a loved one's home. And then you're not alone in this journey, guide every step of the way, and then a little bit about me. So I'm targeting, sending it to the family of, you
Yep.
know, and letting them know that, hey, there is someone that can help you. And in here I talk about, do you need an attorney or an accountant, paperwork like that? Do you need an estate sale company to help you sell some of the things that you don't want? And then do you need someone to come in and take everything else out and maybe doing a little painting or whatever? So I let them know that, hey, I'm all in one. I can help you every step of the way. And that's how I'm developing that niche right now, which I have a passion for and a compassion for, because I've lived it myself just a year
Mhm.
ago with my aunt who passed away and had to sell her home, and I was executor. So I've been through all of that and I can really speak very well to it. And it's definitely a passion of mine. So I think you find your passion.
Yeah, and that's a great niche for something that, especially when you've gone through something like that, you understand the steps and what can be hardships and things you have to overcome, so you can help people do that. I had a girl here in Atlanta that wanted to niche people who were passing away and estate sales and things like that. And we came up with a lot of the things that you just mentioned. One of the things that I suggested was to put on there a hotline number to you, that any question about the process beforehand, during, or after, call this hotline. I'll make sure, because when people are going through the process, either their spouse is not in great health and is pending, or the children are having to deal with it after the fact. So you have a hotline number to call and say, hey, let me help you with this, or we need to do this, this, and this next. Let me take care of it for you. So they know it in their head, hey, if this is going on, I can call this number and they'll take care of it for me. So that having that resource there available, but the whole key is to talk to them up front and let them know what the process would look like down the road, kind of like what funeral homes do. They get the people in beforehand and say, how would you like your funeral to be, right? What would you like to be included? What pictures do you want? What music do you want? What casket do you want to be cremated? They ask the people beforehand what they want, so they set it all up. You could do the same thing in estate sales ahead of time and get to know the children that are going to be dealing with it after the fact, and then it's a shoe-in at that point. Having to do it afterwards is harder because they don't have a relationship built with you. But Laura, that's a great niche to get into.
Well, I'm actually in a couple people's wills.
Yeah, you know you made it when you're in the will.
Yeah. They said they're not leaving me the house, but anyway, they want me to sell it. And then I
Handle it, yeah.
Yeah, I had a client that passed away suddenly in her home, and the neighbors kind of figured it out because she wasn't answering the door or the phone. And so the fire department came to break in her door, and I was the very first call.
Wow.
And I was like, that's how I went there to pick out the clothes that she was buried in.
Wow.
So it's like, wow. I mean, if you could get to that level with somebody, you've definitely.
Yeah. Well, and even talking to them ahead of time, you're saying, hey, don't let your children have to go through this after the fact. They're going to already be distraught, have everything planned out, and I'll take it from there and take care of everything. So you can have a plan in their head and have it all lined out.
Yep. It's easier then too, because they're so emotional later.
Yep. Well, and that's a great niche, is distressed properties, whether it's with estate properties or foreclosures. We're going to see more and more foreclosures coming out soon. We've noticed the BPO number rising, so we're going to see some more foreclosure numbers coming out. Let's see some others that first-time home buyers is a great niche to get into, to teaching them how to do home buyer classes, teaching them what the process is. Don't worry about getting your dream home now. Let's get you in a home, start the equity build, and you can layer on top of that. Investment properties. We've had quite a few agents that niche investment properties. And here's what typically happens with agents, though. Agents will start their real estate career, and they're willing to do anything. They will go any route. They'll learn it. If they don't know it, they'll figure it out to sell real estate, whatever that is. But then they'll find out that they seem to be getting a certain type of client. Let's say it's investor per se, right? They get one investor. And then because they're looking for that investor, they pop up another investor. Now they got two they're looking for, right? And then they get some people who are buyers, and then they find out some sellers, and they start getting in that world. And you'll find out that you build a network of people in that world. So you build a network of investors that we're looking for. Now you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people you're looking for. And now you have figured out a way to find these properties for these investors. And now you've got a system where you've got the buyers. Now you can have people call you to say, hey, I hear you got all the buyers. Let me show you what I got to sell. So you can start building an infrastructure around your connections and whatever that is, right? Like Laura could be connected with retirement communities and different education systems for the elderly to niche that piece in her world, right? So you build these connections and you start getting known for being the expert in that area. So that's typically what happens. And so you can actually fall into that by just working a few deals in that genre, like land. If you happen to have a couple of land pieces, and then all of a sudden people think you're a land expert, right? And then you get a few more because they say, hey, they got 4 lots listed. I need to list my lot. Now you got 10. Okay, now you're an expert in land, and it just starts snowballing. Then developers start coming. Hey, I see you got some lots. What else you got? I want to get them before they get on the market. So now you got developers in your pocket. You got people who want to sell their land. Now you can marry them up even behind the scenes. So that kind of falls into place if you're willing to catch that as it's going. Instead of just letting it happen, see the momentum growing and jump into and take advantage of it and use it as a niche. And by the way, you can be experts in multiple things. I mean, you can be an expert in estate sales, but you can also be expert in land, developable land, right? And so you can even you can market yourself in multiple different ways. Some of the other things that were on the
The
list.
land, hey,
Wait,
Rob, the land, I'll tell you what, that's been a great one. I have a client who's probably got about 2, 3 years worth of properties because he wants to separate when he's selling them because of capital gains and things. So I'm going to have a couple years of listings with him. My first quarter has been amazing, and a little big part of it has been due to his land. And how easy is that? You don't have to show it.
right?
You know, you have to
Exactly.
provide some documents and surveys and things like that, but it's like it's so easy to do land, and it's so true. I am getting calls from people all the time. Of course, you have to watch right now. There's a lot of scamming going on with land.
Sure.
But, I'm getting a lot of calls from it, and I just, became a member on Crexi. I don't know if anyone does much in the way of commercial, but, Crexi also has land. And talk about amazing information on Crexi. It's much cheaper than LoopNet, so if anybody's looking for something like this, it's a great resource tool. It tells you everyone that's looked at the property, if they open up your flyer, you can click on them, you can see if they have other properties that that person particularly owns. The information on there is amazing. So it's Crexi, Crexi, is just a great resource. And yes, they do snowball. And these are two different types of properties. So the estates, and I think Jonathan told me if I hold this to, there you go, hold it to my chest, then you could see my little flyer that I made that I'm so happy about.
That's
Um,
perfect.
yeah. And it fits right into an envelope to mail to people. And I'll put a handwritten note in there, to make it more personal.
Yeah, one of the things that came up on my list was senior housing and downsizing. And that
Mhm.
fits right in with estate sales. It can kind of daisy chain. So if you're an expert in senior housing and downsizing, then that kind of leads right into the next phase of a customer's life, right? So,
Right.
so now you can handle that whole series. There's another loan that's out there that a children can buy a property for their moms and dads to live in and get a low interest rate loan as if it was an FHA financed house. Even though they're not living in it, you can get an FHA loan with low interest rates and a low down payment for your parents to live in and lease it back to you. So that can be, instead of going into a retirement community for $8,000 a month, you can buy your parents a house, or consult your clients on how to buy their parents a house and then lease it back from them for a lot less money, right? And now you got an investment property, you got low interest rates, you got low down payment, and you have them nearby, or however you're working that, right? And then now that you've helped them do that, then you can help them do the next phase in their life and the next phase in their life. So you can daisy chain a lot of these niches, right? So a couple of the others that came across was veterans. Veterans is a great niche to get into. Relocation. I mean, you can get into, if your company has our company has a relocation department, and you can get tons of relo leads if you're plugging into relo. Ours has free training, so you go through free training class, and then you get relo leads for that. So you can get into relocation. That's a huge niche. Green and sustainable homes. There's certain people that like that. So you can get into green, new construction developments, multifamily. So there's a lot of ways to niche properties in your business. And like Laura said, she's getting up. If she's got lots, I'll bet you she's got developers calling her or builders calling her, right? Well, now those builders go into a database. So when she gets another one, she can call them. She can even put in her database what that builder is looking for. If the lot she has is not right now, maybe something else. And then she can go look for those lots and then pitch them to them later. So she can leverage the network.
And then quite often, if you're going to sell a developer a property, I have one listed right now where developers are looking at it and they're automatically saying, well, I'm going to list the duplexes, townhomes with you. So now you
Perfect.
end up with 40 listings of
Yep.
$700,000 duplexes that you're going to be the exclusive agent for. You can have open houses there. You can get other agents in to do open houses for you. And where is that going to snowball? So you just
Exactly.
never know where this is going to snowball. I'd be curious to hear from anybody else on the call if they've done any niches that they've been successful at, and or any other ideas that they've done. If there's anybody that wants to raise their hand, go ahead, and we'll open it up for you.
That's right. Yeah, glad to take your questions.
Actually, it's funny you were saying about niching. I've been like, doing all different things. And then, when it comes down to niching, I was like, man, where do I focus? Because I do, a lot of investors. So now it got to a point where, like luxury home, that's where my presence. And then now I have a whole different group that I've been working with, like multifamily. I have one person buying from like 1 unit to like 5 to like 300 units, and then like 500. So I'm thinking, okay, what? I just got done talking to Rob right before this, that I'm like, Rob, like me and you, we're gonna do on that just, multi-family group that we are forming right now, because right now we have a list of 20 property off market for multi-family. And then so now agents all over are calling me about, hey, I got this like 100 unit, can you move it? And then, so when people know that that's where my focus is, I'm focused on off market multi-family groups, because these owners that that I build a relationship with, they only want to, they only want to talk with me. And they say, okay, just bring them and then I'll pay you. And we make it offline. I'm like, oh, I've done this for years, so now I move from just duplexes to like 500 units, and then still do duplexes, because those owners still have those duplexes small that they just want to get rid of. So it's people like, and then the luxury home owners, that I list for like the $2.7 million home. And then like, hey, can you sell that little home I have in Decatur for like 400,000? I'm like, absolutely. So these people, when they have money and you are expert at that, they will naturally move you up and down the price range without anything at all. So you have any duplexes, anything that is off market, I be your person, because these investors are like really calling me now. And I haven't even marketed yet. I was like, because I want to make sure that I'm doing it before, I've been niching it. So after I build a list of 25 off market stuff, I'm like, all right, I can start vocaling. So that's gonna be my next phase, is to let everyone know that if you have, off market multi-family home, I'd be your girl, to talk about.
Well,
And
that's
where I'm at.
the example of you start working in a certain sector and you get more and more and more business, right? So Summer, I think you had your hand up.
Hey, so my niche is military, but we just PCS'd, so I'm in like a completely different side of the world. And I talked to Jim this morning, and he gave me a few pointers about doing like the new construction homes.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any ideas or advice for that niche, I am already a certified new home co-broker. But I really want to like grow that if that's where I need to be.
Where are you located?
So I came from New Mexico. I was selling real estate there for 4 years, and now I'm in Maryland, licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So it's a big
lot of
place.
new construction going on in those areas?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. Well, and so one of the ways to niche that is to become an expert at where all the new construction is, what's coming up, what's in development mode, what's in build mode, what's in sale mode, what's available. So if you become an expert in that, and then you can do YouTube videos, TikToks, Reels on each community. You can get approval from the builders to go in and do a preview of certain homes that are coming up or available. And you can say, hey, if you're looking for new construction, check this one out. Or hey, there's a new one coming up. Or there's a new project that's coming up in 6 months. If you want the advanced information on it, direct message me, and I'll get you the information when it comes out. So now you're starting a list of the people that are ready to buy new construction when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and what I was thinking,
what was that, Laura?
Talking, Rob, was as you're approaching these builders and developers, and you're gonna say, hey, listen, can I help you market your property? You're not asking for their listing, so you're doing it for free up front, of course, because you're trying to build this up. They're going to eventually, if you keep doing things like that, they're going to now start to say, well, wait a minute, can you list some of these properties for me? And, or if their person can't hold them open on their certain hours, maybe you could offer to do open houses and hold it open for 3 hours a week or whatever for them. Now, great way to get buyers in too, and then just get your foot in the door with these different builders and developers. So I would create a list of all the developments, like Rob said, and be sending emails, and I'd go in person. But most of the time when you go in
Right.
person, you're probably going to have the on-site salesperson there. So you never want
I
to.
was thinking just like coffee, like introduce myself. I'm new to the
Yeah.
area. Can you like, how can I help you and how can you in turn help me?
You can, but I would probably give them a couple items of value before I invited them out, because otherwise they're gonna be,
Okay.
I don't know you, I've never met you. I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time to go to coffee. So if you sent a couple things to them saying, hey, Joe Smith from 123 Development, I'd really like to market your property on social media. And I'd like to do a quick video here. Would that be okay with you? And he'll be like, okay, now we heard your name. And then
Yes.
maybe offer one more thing. Now you could say, hey, Joe, your property's so beautiful. I've been getting a lot of people calling me about it. Hey, maybe we can grab a coffee sometime. I'd love to sit down and talk to you more about your development. Now there's a benefit to him for him to want to meet you.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense for sure.
Another thing you could do is start a YouTube channel on the new home update for your area, whatever you call your area, right?
Okay.
And you can do it once a week and say, hey, here's the status of new homes in the area. There are currently 242 homes available for sale right now. There's another 300 that are coming up that'll be available in the next 6 months. There's 2 more developments that'll be coming up next year. So you can do a new home status update. Hey, last week we had 14 new homes sold in so and so and so and so. There's 3 more available. So you can do an update of new home and new home construction, and then you can feature one of the homes each time you do that. You can give them the update and then feature one of the newest ones that just came available, right? And so you can become, if you put that on TikToks and Reels and YouTube channels and stuff like that, people will start seeing that and they'll see you as an expert in new homes. So if they want to, and then you can say, if you want to get into a new home, I've got special financing deals for you. Or one of my builders is offering a special 2-1 buy down for you to get in at a lower interest rates. Call me, message me, I'll get you in touch with them. So you can provide those specials for these people that are watching your channel, that are seeing you to get your foot in the door, because you want to get the buyers. And then you want to take them to the new construction and sell them, be the buyer's rep, right? But you got to attract them by, number one, being the expert, them seeing you all the time, knowing what's going on, what's out there, and then providing them special offers that you can do. Sometimes you can negotiate with the builders. If you got that thing going on and you're doing this update, you're doing a feature, you can negotiate with the builder, say, hey, if somebody comes in through me, can you give me something a little extra, And builder said, yeah, I'll do a free lighting upgrade for your people, or I'll do da-da-da-da. So you can negotiate that out, but number one, become the expert.
Okay.
And if you do your YouTube channel, there's a lot of good information out there. You have to sift through it a little bit on YouTube on how to start it, but that would be like a living in channel, like a living in, I'm sorry, Maryland? Is that where you're at?
Maryland, yes, ma'am.
Living in Maryland, but then you probably want to dial that down because Maryland, I'm sure, is pretty big.
We'll
So
say Southern Maryland.
Yeah.
Southern Maryland. And then you could showcase on your YouTube channel the pictures of the signs of the different developments.
Right.
And then like Rob had said, and then each week or however often you're doing your videos, feature another development. And then you could send it to the builder. I mean, once you post it, I would email it over to him, because again, this is another item of value that you're giving him, another touch where he's going to say, yeah, actually, I'll meet you, and hey, I'll buy coffee because you're helping me.
Absolutely. Well, back in the 90s when I was selling real estate and I did new construction, one of the things that I did was to bring clients to new construction builders a lot. And then they would all ask me, hey, how can we get this home sold? How can we get that home sold? And then we'd pick up whole developments where we're marketing properties for the builder because we're bringing a lot of buyers to them.
Anybody else have any other ideas for summer?
Is there a specific class other than the new home co-broker class that I can take to like understand the levels from like the ground up of building?
the best way to do it, I just have like, I'm also a new construction specialist. The way to do it is pick a subdivision nearby you, right? Nearby you, and go in there and get to know the agent and pretty much like see what incentive they have and go market it. And then, just like, hey, I'm learning this stuff. And, like, is there any way? So you meet like a superintendent there that they can teach you. Because I am hands-on kind of person too. So when I want to dominate something, I went in all over. Like, have no idea.
Yeah.
They go into new
I don't want them to
construction.
feel like I'm stepping on their toes though, Like
No,
I feel really
you-
like humble
you
about that.
you go in there and be humble and like, listen, I'm gonna dominate this construction market, because it's all again, and I want to learn, and I want to bring a lot of I want to bring a lot of people to to this subdivision. So they would be like, I want to meet with, I want you to, please educate me, because I want to be able to be the expert. And for me, I don't do it. I have a buyer, right? I mean, this is how I do it, how I did mine, if you don't mind if I'm sharing with you. I mean, like, I'm like kind of new to Atlanta, and I'm like, all over the board. And so I went to this new construction home that is kind of fit my client's budget. And literally, the way to do it, I went to that subdivision and literally sat there with them and met up with their, superintendent, because they know that I'm real estate 26 years, oh, I need just a little bit of information about the area and everything. So anything you need to know, that person, the superintendent, should be your friend in new construction. And that listing agent and the builder, sometimes you get to meet the builder and go in there and own it. I mean, that's why I also sell a lot of new construction here in Atlanta and in Tennessee.
Okay.
Hey, Jade, I see you have your hand up.
Go, Jay, unmuted, my love.
Hey
You
guys.
can unmute
Hey
yourself.
there.
So, Summer, I do a lot of new constructions, and you're in the perfect market for that with dealing with people who in the military. Your first line of defense is the on-site agent. Everything everybody said is correct, but that agent will give you everything. Most new construction already have videos of all their inventory.
Okay.
And depending on what builder you're working with, I think it's Century Limited, they have self-entry. And so we're allowed to go in and set up and do open houses ourselves. All we had to do is let them know. They help our advertising. I advertise all of the properties. And when my buyers come in, I don't say anything. I let the online agent do everything. What that does is it be a report. Now you're not a competitor. Now you're an ally.
You're
And so
shadowing
not
them.
every
Yeah.
time they get inventory anywhere, they send it to me. That
Nice.
it's difficult to get a builder in that price range to give you something extra, but they give a lot. My clients, they did a buy down and they paid closing costs and they got the warranties. I always look for the new construction in the first phase, because one of the selling point is
Okay.
by the time they finish doing everything they're doing, you will potentially have anywhere from 10 to 40, 50, and sometimes $60,000 worth of equity for
Mhm.
doing nothing. And so when you're doing that, and then you get your clients to give testimonials that you start sending out on your web. So I'm in my office now getting ready to do a lot of reels based on that same thing. So I specialize in new construction for first-time home buyers. I walk them through the process all the way up into the very end. A week after they go to close, I go to their house and sit down and help them do all their warranties and everything. While they're doing that, I'm videoing that, and then I have them do a testimony about how that process is. Because you're military, I don't call myself a realtor. I'm a real estate concierge, because I do everything from beginning to end and beyond. I had clients where they moved in a month after their closing. I had all the utilities and everything turned on. There's a system inside of Georgia MLS that sets you up, that help you do all of those things. And so when you're giving value like that on both sides, because that's the easiest money in the world to make a new construction. Because you don't have to do anything. I don't even explain the contract to my client. We sit there and go through the contract. We write all the questions down. We go to the on-site agent, and she explains everything to her. I look like a rock star because I went over the contract with her. But the on-site agent is the rock star because they do all the work, and I just get a check.
Right.
Nice.
And by you knowing everything about the community and what's going on and giving advice to the client, then you look like an expert because you're the one that's feeding them all. You know all about it. And Tracy Wiggins says that she does videos that new home salespeople would love for you to come in and do videos of their new construction and use it in your marketing. They don't mind that. They're just wanting traffic, right?
Right, exactly. Okay.
So new construction is a fantastic niche. That's an example of one. And I want to kind of have some personal niches that you can, we talked about a few already, but here's a couple I'm just going to rattle off just to kind of jog your brain. But you can niche photography, right? That could be a great niche of people that like to take pictures of houses, of land, of whatever. Cycling, camping, fishing, surfing, hiking, archery, outdoor stuff. You can niche, if you like to do any of that, there's other groups of people that also like to do it, and you can leverage that in your real estate business. Sports hobbies, basketball, swimming, yoga, boxing, weightlifting, golf, football. If you like to do sports, you can niche that into your real estate business by getting into those groups. We already heard about pickleball with Kim. Home DIY projects. How about gardening, cooking, and baking? Home improvement projects, interior decorating, doing crafts around the house. Anything that's like that around the house, that's perfect because that's exactly what you're doing, right? Is selling homes. And then you can even work into, hey, I was showing this home to my client and they have this amazing mini garden. See what they've done. And you can kind of do a video of the little mini garden out back. Now, what you've done is subliminally said, I'm showing houses to my clients and I saw this mini garden, right? So you're showing off the mini garden, but subliminally you're saying I'm showing houses to clients. So you can leverage things that you're passionate about or you like to do anyway in order to build a expertise in your real estate business. Also, I've had people that rescue dog rescues. If you like dogs, that's a great niche. Cigar. I had a guy in Memphis that was a cigar smoker. I taught him how to niche cigar smoking, right? He did the top 5 cigar shops in Memphis, Tennessee, the top 5 places to smoke a cigar in Memphis, Tennessee, the top 5 home filtration systems for your house for a smoking room in your home. So there's ways to niche, top 5 cigars you should try today. Different things that you could do to niche different things you like to do anyway. Church, if you like to go to church, I've had a lot of people very successful at church. So they'll say, hey, if you buy a home with me, 1/3 of the commission is going back as a donation to the church. Well, what that does is, hey, if you buy a home with anybody else, the church loses money. If you buy a home with me, the church makes money, right? So now they're taking money away from the church if they use anybody else. So you can leverage different things. Language is a great one. If you know a different language, it's a great niche. And you can leverage it nationwide. Like our real estate company has a nationwide connection system. So you can network in groups of people that speak the same language, or people that go to church, or people that have Jeeps, or people that rescue dogs, or people that do pickleball. You can get into those groups of other people across the country and get referrals back. We're having people get tons of extra referrals just by networking in our internal system with other agents in other states that like the same thing. Because if you've got a client out in Arizona and they've got they're into dogs and they're moving to your state, then they might want a dog-friendly agent, right? So if you got a client out there that owns a Jeep, and you're in the Jeep group, that's a whole cult, right? If you own a Jeep, well, now you can work that into other people that own Jeeps, and they know people that own Jeeps, and they're moving, and they want to have people who understand the Jeep world. So leveraging personal niches is a great way to grow your business. So Keith, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, not to circle back, but one of the things before I left Houston, I went and visited a few senior living facilities.
Yeah.
And I met with the coordinator and I said, hey, look, I got a mover. So if you have any folks looking to move in and they need to sell their house, I have a mover coordinated to get a discount moving rate. We'll empty the house, trash it out, and I'll sell the house for them so they can use the proceeds to get into this assisted living facility. And it started to catch traction. So I haven't done it since I've been here in the DMV, but that is a great way to get in before, someone passes, or so you
Yeah.
already established yourself on the front end. And I had a little program, of what the services I would provide. And, so the different coordinators start giving me a call, like, I have a family that's looking to move someone in here. Would you mind following up? So these were relationships I already had with a mover, a trash out person, and so on. So I just went and talked to them, say, I'm gonna go after this niche, this area. Are you willing to offer discounts if I'm bringing the people to you? And they said, let's go with it. So that's just another way to piggyback off what Laura was saying. Maybe you go to the assisted living facilities and get them before as they're trying to make the transition in. You're already in. So whatever happens after that, you're the face they know, and you have a system, and you prove yourself with a whole slate of a menu items of services. Great way to pick
I
it up.
love that idea.
Hey, Keith, thanks for bringing it up because it made me think. See how we're all helping each other?
Uh-huh.
I have one lady that specializes in senior insurance, and then I have another guy that specializes in helping people get placed into assisted living facilities. So if they're going to get placed into them, they're moving from somewhere.
Right.
So
And a lot of times they need to sell that asset in order to pay for the assisted living facility.
Yep. Sometimes we have to really think about who's in our world, and going through your phone is the best thing to do. I went by categories as much as possible because I can't remember their names. So it might say painters or carpenters or movers or whatever. But going through that probably will jog everyone's memory a little bit of, okay, wait a minute, just like I was just jogged, thank you. And who can I contact that's going to help me in my niche?
Well, that's what these events do, is help people expand their way of thinking. Keith reminded me of one of my agents in Nashville, Tennessee, way back in the day. He bought a big truck, put his name all over the side of it, and his logo and his real estate team, and said, buy a home with me, use my truck for free. And so he got tons of business where people wanted to, hey, if I don't have to pay for a truck if I buy a home with him. And there was another guy that owned a moving company, and he was in real estate, and he said, buy a home for free, I'll move you for free. So coming up with creative ideas is a great way to help grow your business.
And then I saw that Tracy put in the chat, which was a good idea for today. She said, top 5 things to do in your area for St. Patrick's Day. Do a live today. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
I guess I got to put on green though, Kim. I'm wearing blue.
Does anybody else have any questions for us? Any kind of niches that you think, or things you like to do and you want to figure out how to niche them? Raise your hand or jump on, and we'd be happy to talk about them.
What I really want to know, are we sure it's niche or is it niche?
Niche.
If you are, I answer
get
that.
that
If
down.
you are under 35 years old, it is niche. And if you're old like the rest of us, it's niche. So pick.
Hey, I got a different way of putting it. If you drink your drink and your peaky is out, it's niche.
Well, sometimes I do that, but every time I hear the word niche, I got to think of the shampoo holder in my shower.
Oh,
That's all I got.
funny.
Man, that's funny because I use niche, all the time, because that's when it was starting out. We all use niche, and then this new, I'm thinking millennial, whatever they are, like under 35 years old, they were like niche. I'm like, when do you start pronouncing that niche? So Keith, what did you use it before, Keith? Because Keith's in our era. Do you use niche before niche?
I was niche before niche, and all of a sudden it went fancy. It
So
went
the
highbrow
OG
or niche. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
the OG in real estate, like the rest of us, the OGs are niche.
That's
the
right. That's
The
right.
wannabe. So if you want to be cool like the OG, then you use niche. I'm kidding.
It all works, right? That's fun. And it can all, you know what? We're talking about types of properties and things you like to do, but it can also be areas too. Like one of my taglines back in the day was Robb sells Cobb. I sold Cobb County in Georgia. And so I said, Robb sells Cobb. My name has 2 B's in it. Cobb has 2 B's in it. It fits. So you can slogan your niche area as well. You can niche an area.
Now Rob want to be 35. Come on.
I guess my pinky's up. Well, this was a lot of fun, guys. We got a lot of good content out there and had a lot of good comments and engagement. So we love this, and we're doing this every week, every Monday at noon. So on our Monday Mastermind. So we're going to be here next week on Monday at noon with a brand new topic. So Julie, do we have that topic?
Hold on, Rob. I want to say something before.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So if you really are if you're struggling to find your niche, whatever you want to call it, post videos, let the data speak for itself, and your audience will tell you what that is for you. That's really, if you're struggling, just do a bunch of different things. The engagement that you get from that video is what has become your niche or niche, and the data will speak for itself if you need help with that.
That's right.
Good comment.
Mhm.
But and the more fun you like doing something, the more you're going to be successful at it. Because if you're enjoying what you're doing, everybody's going to be able to read it all over you. And you're going to become an expert at it because you already enjoy it. Well, thanks, guys, for coming on. We had a great topic today. Looking forward to seeing you guys next Monday. Laura, any final words?
What's the topic for next week?
Julie, do you have the topic for next week? Oh, it hasn't been confirmed yet. So we're still working on confirming that. So we'll post it up in whygrowglobal.com as soon as we get that up and get it out to everybody.
We certainly would like suggestions from people too
Yep.
on, what are you struggling with? And anything that you're great with. We'd love for you to be a speaker for us, because sometimes we're trying to figure out what do they want to hear and what's relevant right now. And we're doing our best, but everybody working together on this would really be helpful.
Love it. And you can actually go to whygrowglobal.com and put in your suggested topics in there. Thanks, guys. Great,
Guys, do a great
Monday
job.
Mastermind. We'll see you next week.
Okay.
Let's go have
Bye.
a nice Reuben sandwich somewhere.
Yay.
That's
Happy
right.
St. Patrick's
Happy
Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
St.
Happy
Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, guys.
Bye, guys.